Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast. I'm Jay Zawaski, by myself, sending it back old school, literally to the first days of podcasting.
But I'm here.
Lawrence is here too, of course, back from vacation. I have an issue I have to take up with you later, by the way. Remind me to do that. But I'm taking it back old school, literally in my parents' basement. That's where I am right now. Like the original podcasters, the ancient times of podcasting from the parents' basement. So that's where I am. They're upstairs, probably wondering where I went because it's been 10 minutes. But we got a lot to get to today. We're going to do Ask Jay Anything, which is slightly terrifying. But with the preview of the questions I've seen, nothing has been too scary yet.
I just like that if you use the acronym, it's Asia, which is my favorite Steely Dan album.
Oh, there you go. It's the only one I know. No, Pretzel Logic. There's two. All right. Good. Look at me. And then we're going to talk about Yaroslav Askarov, which a lot of people are asking about. Askaroving about, I guess you'd say. And we're going to start the show with the Winter Classic jersey. Before we do that, do me a favor. Us a favor. Me and Law. But specifically me, because you love me. Smash that like button for me. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube page as well. Podcast listeners, make sure you're following or subscribed on your favorite podcast app and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So let's start with the big news of the weekend. Our friends at Aesthetics, who are always on top of things, leak the new Blackhawks Winter Classic jersey design. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. You're all welcome. Okay? The second that this was announced, the Winter Classic this year, I wrote for my Blackhawks beat, the Hawks need to have red Winter Classic jerseys. They haven't had them yet. This is it. Mark Lazarus today confirming from a team source that these are the real deal. These are 10 out of 10. I love these. I love these. Throw the full jersey pick back up on the screen for me, Law, just so I can bask in the glow of these things. They are absolutely beautiful. Every detail I think is great. At first, I didn't love the font where it says Blackhawks Chicago on the logo. But then as they had the more detailed photos, which are on your screen now, when you see that they're each like individually stitched, the Blackhawks logo itself in the middle, every feather is stitched, the hair is stitched, just like it is on the full-size authentic jersey. This is a work of art. I will definitely be purchasing one of these. The only thing we don't know is what the back's going to look like, right? Are the numbers going to have an outline? Are they going to be solid white? I don't care. Short of them being mustard yellow, I don't think they can do anything to screw these up. Law, what are your thoughts on this one?
It's a beautiful jersey. It's another $200 down the drain for all of us. We'll be buying them. And I totally agree with you about the red. I mean, yeah, we've done the black over and over. Let's get some color out there. It's in winter time. It's going to be gray. Let's just get some color out there.
Well, and I really hope that this paves the way, too, for the St. Louis Blues, which we haven't seen yet, getting blue jerseys. And they've done this before. When the Red Wings and Leafs played in the Winter Classic, I don't remember what year it is. I'm sorry. They wore red versus blue, and it worked out great. So hopefully they do the same thing with the St. Louis Blues. And we got to be honest, man. Like, we all had our hesitation about Fanatics and how they were going to handle jerseys. From what we saw at the draft, and from what we're seeing with this Winter Classic jersey, they've done a really good job. They've done a really, really good job with the jersey so far. We got the chance when we were at the draft. If you missed it, Fanatics invited a bunch of members of the media up to view all 32 NHL jerseys. We could touch them. We could pull them. We could stretch them. We could do everything we wanted with them.
You could get COVID from DJ Bean.
Yeah. And or Pete Blackburn. Take your choice to pick your variety of COVID. But they looked great. And all my fears were sort of like, okay, I'm good. They look great. And now to see this Winter Classic jersey, they look awesome. I love them. I can't wait to see the finished product in like the entire uniform. Just keep it as simple as you got. I would just stick with the pants they wear or just solid black pants. You don't need to overthink this thing. Simplicity is best. They kept it simple with this, with beautiful colors. It looks old school with a modern design. I think they knocked it out of the park. I love them.
A couple people asking about the stripes and will they go to the back?
I saw, so Aesthetics published a video.
Oh wait, Nate is saying it doesn't.
It does not go to the back. Yeah. So if you go to Aesthetics Twitter account, they actually have a video, and boy, Aesthetics does an incredible job of covering this stuff. But they actually have a video rundown of like the detail and the stitching and everything. And they do actually show the back, which is plain red, which is interesting. But I would imagine because can you throw the main one up again, Law? I'm sorry, just as I talk about this, you can see that the two aspects of red are separate entities from the white and black stripes. So it's almost like a 3-part jersey. I guess you'd say a 4-part jersey if you can include the bottom stripes. So I'd imagine it might make a fit issue if you have them around the back. I don't know. I'm sure they ran through several samples of this and had them go all the way around and just maybe didn't look right with the number. Maybe makes the number hard to read. But so far it looks great. I don't think there's really nothing they can do with the number that's going to look bad. So I can't wait. I can't wait to buy one.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what name I'm getting on there.
Savard.
He's not playing in this game. You got to get a guy who plays in the game.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll put him in the Legends game beforehand. Why not?
Fair enough. I would like to see that.
I'm with Rev. You're making me work. It's like straight out of vacation. This is killing me.
We got to get you back in the groove, man.
My one barrel brewing hat that I got from the brewery in Door County that I went to.
Where did you stay in Door County?
Egg Harbor.
Door County. I love Door County.
Couple things. My brain never envisioned myself going to Door County. So whenever in the last 40, however many years old I am, whenever anyone said I'm going to Door County, in my dumb brain, I just thought Door County was a city. Even though county is literally in the name, I just thought, oh yeah, they're going to Door County. It's a place. So then you drive up there and it's a whole peninsula, obviously, because again, it's a county. So I'm an idiot and I should know this. But yeah, we were in Egg Harbor and actually we were about 10 minutes south of the downtown of Egg Harbor. So I've done a lot of driving over the last week and I'm very happy to be remote this week.
I will say I've been to Door County probably a half dozen times at least. I've only been there once in the warm weather months. We like to go in the winter where everything's frozen over and just, oh man, it's so beautiful. I love Door County. Someday I will live there. That is my goal.
Yes. And then Corey's asking, wait, Egg Harbor, like the cafe? Corey, I also thought Egg Harbor was just a cafe. No. It's a town in the county of Door.
Did you drive through Ephraim?
We did. Yeah, we went to Ephraim, whatever you want to call it. We actually ate at a nice lunch place there that was dog friendly. That was called Sip. Cheese curds were actually cubes. That was fun.
Oh, cheese cubes. Excellent. And what's my other question for you about Door County? It doesn't matter. Oh, did you go to L. Johnson's?
We did. Saw the goats.
You have to.
Goats were up there. My kid loved it. The goats were, chewing on the grass on the roof. That's a weird thing. Didn't understand the concept of that when I got there, but okay.
That's Swedish. What are you going to do?
I know.
Ask Nicholas Hjalmarsson. He'll explain it.
That's a good idea. We should have him on to do that.
We do have some breaking news, and whenever we have breaking news, it is brought to you by our friends at Indeed. As I scramble to look for the read, there it is. Listeners of this show will get $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. That's Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Elliot Friedman 4 minutes ago tweeting, hearing today there is traction between a Columbus and Montreal on a Patrik Laine trade. So it looks like Patrik Laine could be heading to the Montreal Canadiens. So scratch him off the list for the Blackhawks. I think we probably knew that wasn't going to happen anyway when Tavo and Tyler Bertuzzi and Pat Maroon and Craig Smith signed here. There's not a lot of spots for him there in Chicago. So fresh start, hopefully, for Patrik Laine in Montreal. That's fun. When the original six gets better, it makes the league a lot more exciting. All right, I know we're a bit away from the break zone. So why don't we're going to keep an eye on this report. When all the details come out, we'll let you know if they come out by the time the show is over. In the meantime, to start the hashtag Mailbag Monday trademark and hashtag AskJAnything, a bunch of you asked about Yaroslav Askarov, the Nashville goalie who has officially requested a trade. The Predators re-sign UC Saros. So Askarov, kind of seeing the writing on the wall that he's not in the NHL plans anytime soon, wants a trade. So a couple people asked, but I'll read from our own. Patrick Norton, he says, what's a reasonable trade package for Askarov considering he's talked about as an elite level prospect And also taking into account the rival tax, can teams still bid on him if they don't have a Tennessee zip code? I like that. That's good. That's a nice touch, Patrick. So here's the thing, and everyone should know this before you even begin working out your trade scenarios. Askarov wants to play in the NHL next season. That's very, 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 very unlikely to happen here. You've got Peter Mrazek, who, aside from Connor Bedard, was probably the team MVP last year, keeping the Hawks in games they had no business being in. You signed the best goaltender on the market in free agency in Laurent Brossoit. So there's your 1-2. I don't know how many people want to trade for Mrazek. You're not going to trade Brossoit right now. There's nowhere in this on the roster for Askarov right now. Also, keep in mind, the Blackhawks have two very good goaltending prospects, and Adam Guyon and Drew Comezzo. Are they the level of Askarov? We don't know. I'll also tell you, people talked about Rick DiPietro and El Montoya as these can't miss, going to be all-world, greatest goalies of all time kind of goalies, and it doesn't always work out that way. So when I look at the Hawks goaltending situation, which is very solid at the NHL level, which is very solid at the prospects level, if I'm going to start talking about trading first-round picks, it's not going to be for a goalie. And look, if Yaroslav Askarov becomes the next Dominik Hasek or Martin Brodeur, fine, right? Like, there's a chance that happens. I'm not saying that it can't, but when I look at where they're at, and yeah, they've got a lot of draft assets, I'd much rather hold one of those draft assets or several of those draft assets for when it's time to add that massive top line kind of a compliment to Connor Bedard, right? Because it looks like Draisaitl is going to resign in Edmonton. That's all the talk. There's already smoke about Mikko Rantanen resigning in Colorado. So it's, I don't know. And James says in the chat that Cam Robinson tweeted about it. He did. And look, the reason that I think a lot of people are connecting the Blackhawks to Askarov are that people look at the Hawks goalies and say, well, they got Peter Mrazek and they've got Brossoit. They don't have a real stud goaltender, and their prospects are at least 2 years away with, well, maybe a year away with Comezzo, maybe 2 or 3 away with Guyon. I just don't think, I don't know. I think people have underrated what Mrazek did for the Hawks last year. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, if Kyle Davidson looks at this and says, here's an opportunity, I really believe that Askarov is the best thing going out there. I'm fully convinced he's going to be a 1A goaltender for the next decade, and he feels that he can go out and get him and wants to get, if he can convince Askarov to come here and maybe play in Rockford for a year before they can move Peter Mrazek or whatever it might be, or if they can find a taker for Mrazek, okay. It just doesn't seem like the best use of the capital that the Blackhawks have accrued when you consider what they already have and what they need. So would I be against it? Not necessarily, but I think that I wouldn't get too worked up about the opportunity of him coming here, because I just don't think the Hawks are going to give up what they believe in their goaltenders. Who believes in their prospects more than the guys who drafted them, right? So I really think that it's probably a moot point for the Hawks. You never know. You never say never. Crazier things have happened. But I don't think you're going to convince Askarov, who's asking for a trade because he wants to play now, to wait another 2-3 years to come play at the NHL level. There are a lot of teams that can find a spot for him right now. And those teams, a lot of those teams are contenders, right? Like, you could probably, the Leafs, right? Like, they love Joseph Woll, but do they? Do they really love Joseph Woll? I don't know if they love Joseph Woll or not. They say they do. I don't know. And when we did our top 10 goalies in the league right now last year, Stuart Skinner was on that list, but would Edmonton be interested? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just think when you look at what Askarov wants and what it would take for the Blackhawks to create that opportunity for him, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And the Giggity's with a really good point. Nashville is probably not very willing to trade a goaltender prospect of this level to an in-division rival and a team that they, wrongly, consider their main rival. Nashville looks at the Hawks as their top rival. The Hawks look at Nashville as, that's adorable. Thank you. Who are you again? Oh, right. I remember. We heard you. I remember a Nashville Game 5. That rings a bell. So they're not interested in making Chicago or giving Chicago an elite level goalie for the next decade. I don't think that's going to happen. All right. Are we in the break zone?
We are.
We are in the break zone. All right. When we come back, hashtag AskJayAnything on CHGO Blackhawks. But first, shop summertime savings going on right now at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and save on the perfect new vehicle for you. This August, score new lower prices across their huge inventory during the Make This the Summer event. For a limited time, get 0% financing for 36 months on most of their new 2024 Jeep models, or shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Damn. Let the amazing team at Ray CDJR, the R is for Ram, help you during each step of your car shopping journey. With Ray's Price Promise, the numbers you're hearing now are the same prices you can expect to shop in-store and online. That's because Ray's Price Promise means no price changing, no add-ons, and no hidden fees. Since they prioritize affordability for their customers, hurry into Ray CDJR today and shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories. Then drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and
Ram,
because they are the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more info, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or visit raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963. And when you pull out of Ray and your new Ram, you want to look good. You want to look sexy. You want to have high quality sunglasses that are built to last. From our friends at Shady Rays, they have you covered with premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. They're an independent sunglass company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. They're durable, they have crystal clear optics, and they are perfect for all your outdoor adventures. We wear our Shady Rays all the time because they fit great. They never fall off your face. I was out on the boat yesterday at my brother-in-law's lake house. No problem. We were speeding in the boat there. Shady Rays stayed on the face all day. Don't have the raccoon eyes. I love it. If you don't rub your shades, exchange them for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. The team at Shady Rays always has your back with personal and fast support. And exclusively for our lovely CHGO listeners and the ugly ones, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use the code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Just so you're aware, we need to go back to our Indeed breaking news situation. So I'm going to hit the horn real fast here. Freege has tweeted again.
Yes.
And
Patrick Laine is a Montreal Canadian. So we are waiting for the details. It is pending league approval, according to Mark Sheeg of the PWHWA. And what does Mark write for? The hockey writer, of course. So lots of news coming, but Elliot Freeman, as usual, was first with the news. So we'll keep you posted on what the return is. Not expecting to be a ton. I think this is a bit of a cap dump, and Laine wants out. I think their options were limited, so it looks like Patrick Laine is headed to Montreal. Awesome. Corey, who we trust very much. I think this is a real thing. I'm going to hold off before I read Corey's thing. But if you're in the chat, see what Corey said. Maybe he's on it. But we'll wait for official approval before we report the full deal. All right, with that, do we want to begin the Ask Jay Anything portion of the show?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into the mailbag. We will start with our diehard members from our Discord. And this comes from Josh. Ask Jay Anything.
Yeah.
With Mario and Greg out, tell us which one you like more.
Oh, boy. Let's see. Who's closer? Who's probably watching and who's probably not? I would assume if one of the two is watching is Mario, so I'll say Mario.
Okay. And we have a second part to that, a real question, serious question. What was the most awkward thing you ever did to scratch an itch you couldn't reach?
Okay, this very recently happened because I don't know if you've read these stories about these mites that are everywhere now because of the cicadas. So I was in I don't want to name the store, but a place where you can buy kitchenware, and had one I could not reach. So I grabbed like the spaghetti strainer. It's got like the teeth and it's got the hole in the middle. Mm-hmm. Grab one of those off the shelf and just like with the towel on my back thing. Oh, it worked awesome. It worked so well. And I did it. It was over the shirt. I didn't put it down the back of my shirt and scratch my skin and back hair off with it. But I did have to reach for a utensil at a store that I had not purchased and scratch my back. So if you're at a Homewood,
yeah.
It rhymes with
I'm not sure.
It rhymes with PJ
I'm thinking
Packs.
Bed Bath and Beyond, but aren't those gone?
No, yeah, it rhymes with PJ Packs. So if you're at the Homewood PJ Packs, go to like the third or fourth spaghetti strainer in the order to get the one so it doesn't have my DNA on it, unless that's what you're into, and I'll sign it for you. If that's
Okay.
Yeah, but that happened within the last 2 weeks.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross.
We do have official from the Montreal Canadiens.
Yes, I see it here. Yeah. Patrick Laine and a 2026 second round pick for Jordan Harris. So there is the trade. That's the full trade. There's no retention in the deal. So the Canadiens get Patrick Laine and a 2026 second round pick from Columbus for Jordan Harris. So that is the full trade. Like I said, wasn't expecting a huge return. I think people are going to see this and say, wait, they also got an asset for taking on Patrick Laine. Why didn't the Hawks do this? And we've talked about this a lot, and I'm just going to go back and say it. Like, I'm not saying Patrick Laine is a problem. I'm not saying Patrick Laine is going to be a problem for the Blackhawks. I think they are very, very hesitant to take any kind of risks in terms of off-ice stuff. And what he was dealing with was not, there's never been a report about him being a bad citizen or anything like that. There's never, just to be clear, but I think the Hawks are just very, very like, we're going to do our best to vet this as much as we can. Maybe it works out for Montreal. I think it probably will because Patrick Laine is a really good player. But I think part of this is the Hawks just saying, hands off. We don't need this. Our roster's set. We've got prospects ready to make the jump. Look, if you get Patrick Laine, that's another guy that Frank Nazar is going to have to jump over. It's another guy that, who knows, with maybe Lucas Reichel has a really good preseason. I don't know. I just think, A, there's not a spot for it, and B, I don't think the Hawks have an appetite for anything they're not 100% sure on.
Okay. Do you want to answer Jay Bird's question by any chance there? But does this mean Zegras won't be going to Montreal? What do we think?
I feel like the Zegras stuff is a little bit overblown. If I'm the Ducks, I'm not trading Trevor Zegras until if I'm hell bent on trading him. Like if he's a problem, okay, you do it now. But I think trading him now. Remember, we're a year removed from him being mentioned as one of the like premier, exciting young players in hockey. He had a down injury-filled year, and all of a sudden everyone's like, trade Trevor Zegras. I think that would be a massive mistake for the Ducks, especially when you look at some of the support they've brought in up front with Carlson and all the offensive talent they have aside from Trevor Zegras. It takes the spotlight off of him. It takes the pressure off of him a little bit. I'm expecting a really big year from Trevor Zegras this year. And if Anaheim feels like they have to trade him, why not wait till his value's up a little bit? It makes no sense to trade Trevor Zegras now when the demand is lower than it will ever be. So I'm holding on to him. Again, unless he's a massive problem, unless you know something's coming out about him, I'm not moving him now until his trade value is a little bit higher.
All right, let's get back. We actually have one more from the Discord today because there were multiples about Askarov, so we kind of combined that. Here it is. This is from our friend Charlie the Bacon Guy. With the Winter Classic jersey being leaked, what is your ranking, favorite to least favorite of all the Blackhawks outdoor game jerseys?
I'm gonna have to pull them all up here.
That's asking a lot.
All right, I'm gonna give you my top three, and I think later this week we can all sort of tackle the favorite, go through all of them because that's going to take some production. But to get pictures of them all, and so I'm gonna say. I can't call the new one my favorite yet because I haven't seen the full ensemble. I need to see it fully realized, but it's up there. It's like a pinned tweet.
Yeah.
Right. It's just hanging out at the top. My favorite is the one they wore at Notre Dame, the black and white. I think it was so simple. It was so classy. I actually didn't like it when I first saw it because I'm like, that's very boring. But seeing it on the ice and seeing it in person with like the woolen pattern that it looked great. The numbers were cool. And again, it looked fantastic on the ice. So that's my favorite. Second favorite would be the original Winter Classic jersey with the red and the cream across the middle. And then my third would be, was it the Washington one where they had the more haggard looking warrior head with the numbers were low, the tomahawks were lower on the sleeve. I'm trying to remember.
I mean, they've played so many damn outdoor games.
Know.
I don't remember.
I know. I feel like a dumbass, but that's I'm trying to remember which one that is. Yeah, okay, here, let's see. I actually found it very quickly. This is the one they wore against Washington. Yeah, that would be my other favorite one. Yep.
Okay.
That's the one.
All right. Well, let's get into. Boy, this is different doing this at home. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to go to Ask Jay Anything. These are, again, all questions that our viewers have asking just you in particular and no one else. We'll start here with our friend Scott, Iowa 23. Favorite memory of senior year in high school? Also, was it one of the best years?
Oof.
I don't know if that means best year in your life or best year of high school.
Yeah, I would say senior year was tough for me because I had suffered the first day of triples of football. My junior year, I got hurt. And
triples as in like I think you should leave sketch with
yes.
Odenkirk. Triples is the best.
No, it's like, so work out all summer, going to St. Lawrence like 3-4 days a week in the middle of the summer, like getting in shape, working out, opening, training camp, if you're making it the Bears equivalent. The first day we're doing what they call gassers, like running back and forth. And my cleat caught as I made a turn and my knee buckled the wrong way and I got hurt. So I missed a couple, maybe like a week, maybe 10 days of triples. And it started going around that like maybe I was faking this injury, which was like, why the hell would I work all summer to finally get to the point where I get to put pads on and hit somebody to suddenly not?
Because you're soft, Jay. That's why you're soft.
Yeah, well, so that really like messed with me a lot, right? Because like all I wanted to do is play football. That's why I went to St. Lawrence, was to play football. So I'd also been experienced a little bit of burnout of football because it's been 8 straight years and like every day it became like a full-time job. So I'd been considering not doing it anymore. So long story boring. I did quit football. I didn't play my senior year because I was just burnt out and I was pissed off about how that thing all happened. I was also like changing a lot as a person. Like my priorities shifted a lot more towards like the artistic than the athletic at that time. And then of course, a lot of the old football friends kind of turned on me because like you're hanging out with these. It was tough. Yeah. So basically my graduation was see ya. As soon as the ceremony was over, I just got in my car and left. I love my time at St. Lawrence. There's nothing about the school. I just was going through a lot personally at the time. So no, it was not one of the better years of my life. But overall, I would do it all over again. I love St. Lawrence. Love the teachers. Love the like 99.9% of the guys I went to school with. But when something like that happens and your sincerity and your commitment gets called out, it sucks. It hurts a lot. And it's something I still think about. Like, damn, like, did I do something to make those people feel like I would do something like that? And that was tough. So,
sorry to hear that. I just hated high school from beginning to end.
That's all right. It's over. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's almost 30 years ago. So,
all right. Well, guess what? We are back in the break zone. So if you want to do that before the next Ask Jay Anything, let's hit it.
We should do that. And hey, if you're looking at some of these preseason numbers that are coming out in hockey, you're starting to see them. Jack Adams favorites, Rocket Richard favorites, all those sort of things. Check out Circa Sportsbook and compare those lines. They love when you do that because they're pretty confident that when you explore what other sportsbooks offer, you're going to like the odds a lot better at Circa Sportsbook. They got those tight money line splits in their low hold model. Their games tried to be a -110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sportsbooks that may use a -115 or -120 split. Circa keeps as little money as possible on large market bets like futures. That's what we're talking about with those hockey bets, golf tournaments, etc. And what I love about Circa, and maybe someday this will apply to me, is that Circa Sports does not limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit their winning players. And there's real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other books that use chatbots. All aspects of the app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So here's what you need to do. Download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates, and are with us for all of our Cubs Friday 120 clubs. And if you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyoureallywinning.com. And Law, I have 3 words for you. Bacon wrapped chicken. Bacon wrapped chicken is as amazing as it sounds, and it's from our friends at Family Farms. Their culinary journey is woven with passion, dedication, and commitment to crafting the finest bacon wrapped chicken.
Clearly woven with bacon as well.
Yes. More importantly, woven with bacon. It's a timeless delicacy that has tantalized taste buds since 1974. Join them on this flavorful adventure where every bite tells a story of tradition, quality, and the enduring spirit of Family Farms. Craving a taste of home without leaving yours? Check out baconwrappedchicken.com or click the link for their Amazon store, which also includes the legendary Rocky Rococo's Italian sausage, and to find out when their new amazing Cajun Nation flavors will become available with an authentic Louisiana bite. We got to sample the Cajun Nation stuff. Oh my God, so good. Experience the flavor that's become a family favorite for generations. Visit your nearest Woodman's, Mariano's, Burcott's, or on Amazon. baconwrappedchicken.com. No bad words there. Bacon wrapped chicken.
You know, I didn't get to go to a Woodman's on my trip up to Wisconsin, and that was kind of upsetting.
The Kenosha one's right there, man.
We stopped at Tenuta's Deli in Kenosha.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've heard of Tenuta's. It's
Judy Tenuta's?
It's a good Italian spot.
She have an accordion, Judy Tenuta?
I do remember Judy Tenuta, yes, but no, this is not hers. My friend Benny, who I went to school with at Columbia College, lives up there, and so we met there for lunch. Got a nice Italian beef.
Nice.
Should have ordered an Italian sausage, but I had eaten an Italian sausage the night before, so my wife shamed me into not doing it back to back. That was a problem. But we actually picked up some sausages to grill up there in Door County, so they were delicious, but we did not go to Woodman's and their 100-yard long cheese aisle, which is my favorite thing in the world.
I mean, if you're going to get cheese, that's the place to get it. And Nate says, I bought a keg of spotted cow from Tenuta's and drove it home for a family party once. Can I say something controversial?
No, it's not that controversial. Spotted cow's meh.
I think so too.
You got to get Moon Man if you're getting the New Glarus.
Yeah.
But we actually also, this is a great trip for me driving. We also stopped at Three Sheeps Brewing in Sheboygan on the way up and picked up a couple Sixers. That was delicious. They were doing some weird strongman competition where these guys were picking up large boulders. That was kind of weird. And then on the way home, we stopped at Eagle Park in Milwaukee to have lunch and pick up a 6-pack of Billy Ray Citrus, which is an amazing logo and also a name.
And in 20 years, you'll get Miley Citrus.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Bragi says your standalone episode is the most viewers who've seen it once, other than the episodes you've seen in a while. Okay.
Wow. Thank you. Is everyone hitting the like button?
Yeah, you better be hitting the like button. I did tell you to. Yeah.
I think they're just here they're hoping for the handsomeness we had Friday with Charlie Romeliotis and Joe Brand sitting in with me.
Yeah. I was going to yell at you about that. I did yell into the ether on Twitter about how no one, you've done all these Friday shows and we're in studio when I have to drive an hour and a half each way. And then the 1 week I'm out, you guys are just remote.
That was the only remote show, just that one day.
Yeah.
The rest of the days we were there.
I'm still annoyed.
Sorry.
All right, back to the mailbag. Here we go. We've got this comes from a certain Cody Delmendo. Why do the Cubs do this to me?
Cody, they do it to, well, I can't say all of us. I would say 70% of us. You think that's the Chicago split, 70-30?
I mean, shit, at this point, I mean, I don't know if it's 70-0. I mean, who the hell cares about the other team?
They're eternally frustrating. But I said, buddy, in 2016, I said, just give me this one, and I'll from there on out, every season would just be like, if it happens again, great. They're too average to live and die. I know Cody doesn't have a choice. It's kind of his job to live and die with the Cubs.
Well, yes, but when it's a Tuesday in April and he's having a meltdown, there's 162 games.
Yeah. But I think Cody's frustration comes from the fact that he knows it can be better and he knows it should be better.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating thing. And I'm with him on that. Like, the Cubs should be acting like the Dodgers, not like the Pirates.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Giggity is saying, I knew Law was a Cubs fan. I'm not. I'm an announced fair-weather Chicago baseball fan. I don't care enough about baseball to like live and die like Cody every day. So each season I just decide, oh, this team's actually playing the game correctly and like not being totally stupid and terrible defensively. So this year, that obviously rules out the White Sox. And I mean, to be fair, the Cubs have really not done much anything better anyways. I don't know. Baseball, whatever. I don't care either way.
Yeah, they're frustrating. There's no doubt about it. Sorry, Cody.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a virtual hug.
All right, here's another good one for you. This is from Alberto Vitale. What are your honest thoughts on the EA NHL game series, and do you think it's worth buying every year for what largely feels like the same game each iteration?
All right, so I'll say this, and I understand what people are saying. I'm going to challenge people, though, because you know what else feels like the same game every year? MLB The Show. And you know why it's the same game every year? Because it's pretty good. And there's a couple things here that I think, and maybe I'm a NHL apologist. I've been playing since the Genesis games. I play it all the time. I buy it every year. I play it from release day to the next release day religiously. It is the game I still play the most. I play Hockey Ultimate Team a lot, which keeps me invested because there's things to unlock. There's ways to make my team better. I get rewarded for my time, that sort of a thing. I enjoy it. I also think it's fair to keep in mind that the team at the NHL EA Sports probably has the lowest budget to work with. They probably have the fewest amount of people working on that team to make the game better. I think when you get the game going and start playing it, it's very representative of a hockey game. Now, it's difficult for it to be perfect because hockey, as I say all the time, is basically pinball. So when you have a limitless amount of possibilities every time the puck is advanced one way or another, it's going to be tough to make a game that perfectly simulates hockey. That's a lot easier to do with baseball, somewhat easier to do with football. But when the game itself is the puck moving, bouncing back and forth off walls, off glass, off goalies, off of posts, all those sort of things, it is very hard to authentically recreate that experience. I think the NHL team does a good job. What I do want, and this is just as a whole in terms of sports gaming, no more exclusives. I hate it. Like, there should not be only one company that makes major league games. There should not be one company that makes NFL games. How about when NHL had to go up against the 2K series? And those NHL 2K games were a lot of fun. They're very good. I still have 2K10 down in my basement. I fire it up from time to time because those Hawks were good. Right? Like, so, like, I think having some competition would benefit everybody because they know they have to be better than the competition. So it forces these companies to reinvent and improve instead of just updating a roster. But I will say, if the game itself isn't completely broken, and I think that anyone that plays the NHL game regularly would tell you that the gameplay itself is not broken. Now, I know people want different modes, they want different features, and I get that. I totally understand that. But in terms of like plugging in the game, picking up a controller, and playing a game of hockey, I think the EA Sports series does a pretty good job. And I do think there's enough of a change year to year to justify me upgrading it. But that's just me. And if people choose not to, that's fine. I'm also very weird about like roster accuracy and like that kind of thing. I have like a weird, like if I'm playing an offline game, and I see there's like a trade not made, I'll seriously stop the game, go make the trade, and like start it over again. I'm very, very like OCD about that stuff, which is probably why I'm more willing to, shell out the money every year for NHL. But I'm telling you, I put before every Ultimate Team game, they show my record, and I've probably played like 500 or 600 games this year. So it's what I do with my free time. I love it. I play it all the time. It's imperfect, but I think when you look at the context of what that team has to work with, it's kind of understandable.
I don't know. Just give me NHL 94. I don't think I've played since then, to be honest.
That's video games achieved perfection in 1984.
That is correct. And next question from our Ask Jay Anything mailbag from Tom Quinn, who goes by @TinleyIrishHawk. That'll give you a hint as to where this is going. How did you become a fan of Notre Dame? Who's your all-time favorite ND player?
Oh boy, that's there's a lot. I've been a Notre Dame fan a long time. So really my fandom began watching games with my grandpa. My mom's dad is like, he passed in 2010, but he's my hero. Like, always has been, always will be. And we used to watch games together all the time. And as he got older, he got macular degeneration, so his vision was going. So I would literally have to sit next to him during games and describe what was happening.
Cool.
And we lived and died with the Irish together. It was the thing we connected on. And I'm also Southside Irish Catholic. So it kind of it's all around you, right? Notre Dame is part of life out here, and it's something that actually in my days at the Score, I would always kind of argue with people like, hey, I know most people working here are from the north side. We are missing out. We need more Notre Dame coverage, and it was shouting into the ether. There's a lot of Notre Dame fans in Chicago. As for my favorite player, that's hard to say because I've been a fan so long. But top of my mind, I love Rocky Boyman. The linebacker was very, very good. I love Tom Zbikowski just because, Chicago guy, tough guy.
Boxer.
And I got to say, and people are going to chuckle, and I hope they go back and watch that new Manti Te'o documentary where it's really like broken down as to how he got catfished the way he did, and it makes him a much more sympathetic character. But he was maybe the most dominant defensive college football player I've ever seen. He was outstanding. And I was at that game after his girlfriend died. I'm throwing up the air quotes, and he just had this insane performance. So Manti Te'o is up there too, but I would say if I had to pick one of the three, I pick Rocky Boyman because I always like having the favorite that's not maybe everybody else's favorite.
Yep.
So that was my guy. Good old number 30, had the bright red hair, big Notre Dame linebacker. I liked Rocky Boyman a lot. So that'd be my one of ones.
Yeah. Well, I've always hated Notre Dame.
That's okay. That's part of it.
Yeah.
There's very few people that are indifferent about Notre Dame.
Yeah. I just, they got their contract at NBC, and it was like, why the hell do I have to watch ND every week? Like,
it's apparently working for both parties.
Yeah. Whatever.
Seem to be enjoying it. All right. Now I'm going to take my issue with you.
Who's with me in the chat?
I'm taking an issue with you now, Law.
Perfect.
Jesus, before the show. This is the second time this has come to my attention of you slandering Chappell Roan.
Oh.
And you did it on, and I don't know if this Tim Walz playlist is real, but I want to believe it is because he's got both Van Halen and the Grateful Dead on there, which I'm wearing my Grateful Dead shirt. I don't know if you can see my Apple Watch is a Grateful Dead screensaver, and he picked my favorite Grateful Dead song, which is Althea. So I hope this is real. He also had Van Halen's Eruption on there, and then you criticized him having Chappell Roan on the list.
Well, I was criticizing the fact that it's clearly not Tim Walz who picked that because.
Well, if it's not his list, so who is? So your mind is like.
Well, what I'm saying is one of his millennial social team said, "Oh, Tim, you should probably put a Chappell Roan song on there because like everything on this list is like from the 80s and 90s." And I was like, "Great." I was like looking at all the things. I'm like, "Yep. This all makes sense. It's all great. It's all great." And then I was like, "Chappell Roan, come on, bro. That's not even real. There's no way."
Did the same millennials select 38 Special?
Yeah.
Like that's what. So I'll say this: as a 46-year-old man, how old is Tim Walz? Do we know? 50 something, right?
He's got to be 60, right?
I don't know. Whatever. But we like the same music. I kind of when I see a phenomenon happening, I feel like I owe it to myself to check it out because I used to be very gatekeepy and like this is new, so it can't be good. and I missed out on a lot of good stuff. So I listened to Chappell Roan after the Lollapalooza thing. I'm like, hot damn, this music is very, very good, and I love it, and I listen to it all the time, and I sing along with it all the time. You'll see me driving down, the Dan Ryan, singing Pink Pony Club, pick a day, and I'm doing it. It's great. It's really good. It's feel good music. I love the story. So I want to give you I'm going to challenge you.
I know. I
Just
need to
check it
listen to
out.
I'm honestly, when it comes to music, I'm not a gatekeeping person. I listen to new music all the time. This whole thing like, oh, she became viral on TikTok and that's how I don't know. I don't know. I can't handle that.
She worked her ass off. If the story is she worked her ass off and it finally happened for her, which I love. And she writes her own stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Yeah.
I just think there's this video that's going around that I think happened after Lala. And it's her a few years ago, like playing to an empty parking lot. She's just like playing a keyboard. And then all of a sudden it changes to like pyrotechnics and like a massive crowd at Lala. And like just seeing the work that goes into it. I had like a front row seat for this. I went to Nashville a couple years ago. And we went to a show at the Basement. And we went to see Ruby Boots. I don't know if you know Ruby Boots, but she's an Australian singer who came here, is trying to make it in like the alt country kind of realm. And we're super excited about this. Like, we're big fans. And Hope and I are waiting to go in. And this like rickety old Toyota Camry pulls up. And this red-haired lady gets out. She's in her trunk pulling out all this gear. I'm like, that is Ruby Boots unloading and setting up her own gear in her car that is like held together by duct tape. Like it's like me seeing like the struggle go from struggle to success, whether it's like pop music or the kind of music I like better than pop typically. I just love that. And I feel like, of course, there are some like your Nepo babies that are just automatically plugged in, like Will Smith's daughter.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's a huge advantage for her. But when you listen to the music, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, I don't like the people who cut the corners, the ones who like,
sure,
oh, it's The Voice. They're on The Voice or,
yeah.
Idol. And it's just like,
I get it.
That whole thing.
But I will say, just to push back on you too, on like the TikTok thing, it has kind of been an equalizer for artists. Like, because back in the day, it was, I'm a music scout, I'm going to the show. And if this music scout likes you or doesn't, or they're having a bad day, or they don't feel like paying attention, maybe you get overlooked. Now it's kind of a merit-based thing where,
yeah,
hey, this artist grinded it out, found 1 million fans on TikTok, and all of a sudden they've become this huge success. Like, good for them. I mean, look at what we do here, right? Like, I started the Madhouse Independent. Like, did I have a little bit of an advantage because of the score? Yes, of course. But it was still my work, right? And it got me to this point here with ALLCITY. So I'm all about it, man. I'm all about success stories, especially, young people, young women making it after struggling and like not giving up and finding their own way. It's a very cool story. And the music is also awesome.
Well, if the music's awesome, I'm down with it. I just maybe it's the fact that people are doing like YMCA things in the video, the viral video.
It's time for a new one.
Okay, let's get back to the mailbag. Let's go to this one from Mitch Marner's right leg. Has there ever been a player who surprised you when spoken to off ice for better or worse? A ruthless enforcer who turned out to be a complete sweetheart, or a team darling who was cold and disrespectful?
I don't have the latter. I don't have anyone who is like a surprising jerk. Not in hockey anyway. Let me think about that for other sports.
I got one.
I would say so. Theo Fleury was extremely soft-spoken when I met him for the first time, like right after he signed in Chicago. It was like the summer he became a free agent and signed yours before he had played. And he came into the station at the Score to do an interview. And I talked to him, and he was just very like, and I don't think he was under the influence at that point. It's hard to tell because he was kind of always at that point, but just very soft-spoken and shy. I find a lot of the enforcers are usually like the most gregarious. Like I had to do before John Scott became like John Scott trademark. I did a couple bar events with him, and the first time I met him, like, God, this guy is like super thoughtful. He's funny. He's got takes. He's like really smart. Bob Probert, when he was right, was a super sweetheart of a guy, and was enthusiastic about the broadcasting thing. And as much as he was kind of forced into that by the Blackhawks, like he really did before he started getting back into substances was really like a super kind-hearted, nice guy. And like guys love Bob Probert. So I'm trying to think of like someone who is I don't know, I feel like the people that were dicks you'd kind of expect it from.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
Well, for me, I covered spring training for a few years, and one of the people I had to interview down there was Milton Bradley,
No.
who, like was kind of a loose cannon, crazy, whatever. And you'd think he'd be like this, not want to answer your questions and just be a total jerk. And I was like kind of nervous to do it. And then I sat down with him, and it was just, 11 in the morning, sitting in the dugout next to him. No one else is around. And he was super engaging, super nice, answered all my questions for 10 minutes. And it was like, oh, that's cool. Right on.
I feel like a guy like him would do better in today's game, where like personalities are a little more understood and there's like a little more nuance to that sort of a thing, that kind of a character. I will say I had a similar experience in the brief time Jose Canseco was on the White Sox. I was also in the dugout doing some field. I was helping out our reporters, and he just sat down next to me, no shirt, and he was just had his bat, and he was just like cranking. There's a bad visual, just twisting his bat, and he's like, "Boy, it's really fucking hot out here." I'm like, yeah. Yes, it is Jose Canseco, as I'm remembering back in the day when I had like Jose Canseco starting lineups on my my shelf. I'll say Ron Karkovice was a jag. He came to St. Lawrence baseball camp and like couldn't have cared less about being there. And Carlton Fisk was such a dick to me. Like he as a little kid went to a Sox game, and like I was little, like 4 or 5 maybe. Mr. Fisk, can I have your autograph? Literally takes the ball from me, looks at it, and just hands it back to me. So he like, not only did he say, like a lot of guys like, hey, I can't do it right now, I'm going to hit or whatever. He literally took the effort to take the ball out of my hand, build up my hopes, and then hand it back to me and just walk away.
That's such a dick move.
Yeah. Like that's intentionally mean.
I almost respect that a little bit. Okay. We got a couple more Ask Jay Anything questions, and that probably will wrap up today. And then we have a few extra mailbag questions for tomorrow.
Sweet.
This one comes from Chris Mearsman. What was your favorite show to work with at the Score? And then a second question, which AHL arena do you like better, the BMO Center in Rockford or Allstate Arena?
Okay.
Outside of Chicago.
For second one's easy. I love the BMO is so much better than the Allstate. Like it's got personality. It is actually made for the team that plays there. Yeah. There's better accommodations. It's easier to park at. It's easier to get to. It's a smaller arena, so games feel bigger and louder and more exciting. That one's a no-brainer.
Yeah, but did you ever see Shane McMahon jump from like 40 feet out of the sky at whatever show that was that I was at? That was amazing. I
don't know. I have not seen that at either place. I know it happened, but I think if Shane McMahon had something at the BMO, he would do it there too.
Yeah, that's true.
He'd probably just jump off the Corey Crawford banner onto somebody. So if you've not been to the BMO for a game, go. And this year is definitely the year to go because they've got a lot of like legitimate prospects playing at that level. Levshinov, Doc, Allen, Del Mastro, maybe Kaiser, could be Kevin Korchinski. Like if you're going to go to a Rockford game, go. And it's such an easy trip. It's like 2.5 hours, but it's quick. It's a quick 2.5. Go there. There's good food out there. There's more than beefaroo. Go run the bases at the Rockford Peaches Stadium. It's just sitting there. You can just drive out to the Rockford Peaches Stadium, walk on it, sit in a dugout. It's amazing.
That's cool.
So go do that. And as my favorite show at the Score, it's a tie. So I did a show called Chicago NFL Live with Doug Buffone, where he would have a different host every night. And the hosts were like Gary Fensick, Tom Thayer. Like it was always like some stud NFL player or someone associated with the NFL, and Doug Buffone doing a football show every night. That was super fun. I will say Gary Fensick is like the coolest, nicest, smartest guy in the world. Him and Doug took me and my buddy Tim out after a season of Chicago NFL Live to Gibson's, and we ordered a lobster tail that was this like literally the size of an NFL football.
Whoa.
It was crazy. So it's me and Tim who are making maybe a combined like $40,000 at the time out to dinner with Doug Buffone and Gary Fensick, who were like sparing no expense, like running the, oh my God, it was such a surreal experience. Like we were so out of our element, but it's something I'll never forget. And when I work with Parkins and Spiegel, which is totally different from Spiegel and Parkins, totally different show. I just, that show, after the first few months of like earning the trust of each other, and Danny, I've said this to Danny, and so I'm not like talking shit behind his back. Like I think when he started off at the Score, he was trying to earn, I don't know, he's like trying to make a name for himself. And I told him, like, dude, the way you're going to do that in this town is to just be yourself and say what you believe. And because people can see through the bullshit and the hot takes. So like, don't do that. Just be you. And then when that, after like the first 2 or 3 months, that show really settled into a nice groove. And it just ended Friday with Danny Parkins' awesome Cubs for a Cure thing. He raised like $560,000 or something doing a 24-hour broadcast. And then whatever they made, is it this whole week or was it just this weekend? They're trying to get to 1 million, which I think they're going to.
Yeah.
So awesome. I liked working for everybody at the Score. I never worked for Boris and Bernstein formally. I filled in there time to time, but I wasn't their producer. So I can't claim that one. That was my favorite show to listen to. That's for sure. But yeah, I would say Chicago NFL Live just because I love Doug. Also, I did the post-game shows with Doug and OB. And watching a Bears game with Doug and OB was something. And Doug Buffone always had 2 Diet Coke cans, one for Diet Coke and one for dip, spit, and ash. And inevitably, every week, he would drink the dip and ash can once.
Yeah, well, makes you feel alive.
Yeah, it's one way to put it.
Okay, we've got another Score-related question. This comes from @Sully26. What's your best Les Grobstein story?
I didn't work a ton with Les.
Well,
I will say, my buddy Dave Miska, who, if you're a longtime Score guy, you might know that name, has a great way to describe everyone's relationship with Les Grobstein. You're having one conversation for your entire relationship. So you start talking to Les about one thing, and then let's say like, oh, I got to go or whatever. The next time you see Les, be it the next day or like 6 months later, Les will be like, so yeah, anyway, like I was saying, like the conversation would continue. I did do a Hawks post-game show with Les after they I don't know if they won the cup or if it was like a cup final game that they had won. And I'm trying to do a post-game show for the current team. And every thought I had, Les would be like, that was like back when Chico Mackey used to play. And I'm like, Les, they literally just won a Stanley Cup final game. Can we just do this year tonight? Like, can we just do this year, please? That was it. But he was always super nice guy. I mean, honestly, like I got along with everybody there. Like there were people that were challenging to work for. Like Mike Murphy was always a challenge to work for, but he treated me well for the most part. Mac was always challenging to work for, but we have a good relationship. I just texted him the other day. What did I text him about? I forget. Oh, I watched As Good as It Gets for the first time in like 15 years. I'm like, I forgot how good that movie was. So I was thinking of you, because we use movie drops from that all the time. So yeah, my time at the Score was great. There's nothing I look back on at the Score with regret at all.
I randomly worked with Les's daughter in my first ever job at a hot dog place.
No kidding.
Yeah, damn. I don't know.
Do you have one conversation with her that's still going on?
No.
So anyway, the best relish is the neon green relish that's only made by Vienna.
Shout out to Tasty Dog in Elk Grove Village, which is no longer there.
R.I.P. in peace.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's close the shop there. We'll pick it up tomorrow.
Well, thanks everybody for being with us. That was fun. It wasn't as. I'm glad we got a little bit of news to happen during the show. And we had the Winter Classic thing and Askarov to talk about, so it helped a little bit. But thank you for the great questions. I hope I didn't duck anything. I don't think I did. But Mario's back tomorrow. Greg's off for the rest of the week. We are going to be remote all week because of the DNC, which is like 3 blocks from our office, so it's not ideal right now. Yeah. And then Friday, the entire station is off because we've got the Kickoff Classic, and I believe there might be like maybe 3 or 4 spots open. Like, seriously, that's it. So if you want to see if there's anything left, go to allchgo.com, go to the events page and see if you can buy a spot. Maybe you can get a twosome at this point, but give it a shot. And we should also mention that the second episode of the 85 with Cole Kmet dropped this morning. So go check that out. Austin Reed, the quarterback, was his guest. And
Hard Knocks darling.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good. I'm probably about halfway through it. I love hearing football players talk football. I feel like you learn something when you get that, and you get a lot of that from the 85 with Cole Kmet. So make sure you check that out. Do me a favor before you go. Please smash that like button. Please make sure you're subscribed, and do me a favor and share this episode with somebody if you enjoyed it. That's our best way of growth is for you to tell the people that love the Blackhawks and love hockey about us. That's what helps CHGO Blackhawks grow. So please do that. And me and Mario will be back tomorrow at 2:30 right here on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.